Okay, welcome everybody. We are live from the Shambhala Monastery, and today we are going to show you the Ford e-Transit van designed by Jesus for the Omaha Helping the Needy program, where we hand out sandwiches and clothing every day. And so this is basically a regular transit van, so it's quite big. It's about 20 foot long, maybe a little longer, maybe 22 feet. But in this particular case, it's fully electric with 100 miles range, with the battery all under the floor. And they decided to give it a 100-mile range because when they were researching, they realized that most of the people using this van are just doing short local trips, and so that was all they needed. So that's what it's designed for. So let's just show you the outside and just do a little walk around. They've got the charging right at the front of the vehicle. So Lama Eric, who's been working on the RV, is just going to show you just a straightforward 3-pin 220 socket in the front there, and a light comes on in the dark, all waterproofed. This vehicle, you know, when you have your charger at home, is going to take about 10 hours to fully charge from zero. So it's an overnight charging situation. You can supercharge them. They do have that capacity. And then just coming down the side of the vehicle, you can see the usual sliding door. And do you have the keys on you, Lama Will, just so we can show this table? Because Jesus designed it so that we have a table here folded, and this opens up. So for the needy program, it's really handy because you could serve coffee on here, whatever you wanted. You know, when you're helping someone with some clothing items or shoes. Really useful. Look at that. So, and then you just have to keep it stowed away and locked, of course, when you're driving. So let's put that back up, Lama. So that's going to be a very useful addition in Omaha. And then the other thing that Jesus added is this. See this socket on the side here? That's not a regular charging socket for the actual van. That's charging a battery that's inside the vehicle that Jesus put in, that powers the fridge and freezer we have in there, that we'll show you a little later, and a few other things. And so as soon as you come back home, you just plug the main charger in the front, and then you plug this charger in the side to top up a large storage battery inside. So it's got all that battery for extra things. Really useful. It's good. That pin there's like an RV pin, isn't it? And then we just get an adapter, and it would just plug into like just a normal power socket, you know, in your garage or something. So there's that. So that's kind of useful. And then at the back, Jesus put in these really nice decals there for the 2 back doors. So that's the main access for things. And then I'll just show you the other side. You get an idea of how big the vehicle is. And there's another socket here Jesus put in, and this is like a backup socket for inside if it's needed. May not be needed, but it's there and it's super helpful. Great, so that's the outside, and let's show you the inside. Well, we're live, so we're just going to show you a little bit about the operations from the front here. It's a 2-seater when you buy it, and it's got a really nice main screen there, and that's where all the operations are. So Will's going to just run us through real quick some of the menu here. So just fire it up, yeah?
To start, you press the brake.
Okay.
And you push the button.
All right, just as usual.
Yeah.
Then you've got all your nice instrument cluster there with the state of charge and everything. Really nice. And then they put in the nice central screen here, and that's basically where you choose settings and things like that. So let's see how long that takes to fire up. There we go. So just run us through a few of the basics, Will, what it can do, and because I think you have to kind of connect your iPhone to it, don't you?
Yeah, mine will probably automatically be connecting. Oh,
yeah.
No. Yeah, so these are all the
Great. So basically, you know, to get all its functions, you have to Bluetooth with your iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's have a look at the menu for a bit and then see what it gives us.
So we got, let's see, settings. Let me connect it with my phone so we can see the. So we
Okay, well, go ahead and
Yep.
then we'll just run through the menu a bit here.
Okay, so you just link it, the Bluetooth, to your phone.
Yep.
Phone list. And this one's mine. And we just want to do the Apple CarPlay, and that will just sync your. Ooh. There we go. So now my phone's screen will be on the
Great.
car
So
screen.
you got all the apps on your phone, like I can see the map
Yep.
there. So if you want navigation on this vehicle, I think you have to use your phone. So basically, you've got all that great iPhone navigation on the screen if you need it.
There you go.
And then great. And then let's have a look at the settings, like for the van itself. There we go. So you've got the phone, navigation, sound, vehicle. Let's have a look at the vehicle and see what it gives us.
Camera delay, reverse. These are just vehicle settings.
Much
Brake
there.
assist.
So let's go back again.
Yeah.
And then, because I want to tell, general maybe is what we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see what that gives us. All right, so you got all the settings there. How do we get to the power pack on board? So
Yeah. Then you'd want to go to. We want to go home, features, and
Great.
the Pro
So
Pro
that's
Power.
called Pro Power on board, and the option they give you with these e-transits is that you have a power socket right at the back inside that you could run power tools and all kinds of things. So that's really useful, and that runs off the main battery, so you can run high power tools. So we'll show you that in a bit, but that's called Pro Power on board. So just, I see it's got a power button there, right? So just press it.
Yeah, but it can't be.
You got to have the vehicle on.
Well, it can't be plugged in.
I see.
we
We got it plugged in the back.
Yeah.
Great. So that's that. That should do us. And then the rest is just the usual heat in and all the stuff. But we did want to show you the Pro Power on board. So that's how you would enable it. Okay, another really neat feature we want to show you from the driver's side of things is the camera as well. So if you could lead us through the camera, because we've got a rear camera and we've got a front camera. So let's see how that works.
So the one that's built in.
Yeah, speak up.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the camera that is built in
That's it, yeah.
to the van that came with it is reverse camera here, and you have cameras all around the van that give you a 360 view when you're in reverse.
Great, and it's got, you can just probably see, I can just see those yellow lines. So obviously it's a big vehicle, so this is like a parking aid, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've
Yeah.
got the rear like we used to on EVs right there to guide you in, so that's really cool. And Jesus added a front camera, didn't he?
Yeah. Here. Let's get at him. So you just press that.
So press and hold, and that looks like it's powered from the. It's got a battery in it, obviously, but it's powered by just the cigarette lighter socket
yep,
on the
12
front
volt.
here. So that's third party.
So if you want to get to the front camera, just hit that and pair, and then you go to cam 2, and that's the front.
Great. I'm not sure if you can see it, but basically that is something you can just enable if you need a really good kind of view of where the front bumper is. So
Yeah.
neat. So that's something that Jesus added, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Also, one thing, if you want to get your rear camera and you don't want to go into, you could do it in park or drive. So you could just get.
Oh, I see.
This is another front camera.
Oh, so we have the van's front camera.
Yeah, by this button.
Oh, wow. So that's very cool. So in other words, you can just be in neutral or in park, and then this
Yep.
button here has got a little camera on it.
Yep.
So you press that button, and then you toggle between front and back. How does that work?
Let's see. I think it looks like
Oh yeah. So you then see that setting,
you change
and you
there,
can just go to front or back. Fantastic.
and you could get the 360.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So you got all the navigation aids you need for awareness when you're in maybe a tight spot. Nice. Great. Thanks, Samuel.
Yep.
Okay, so when you buy the e-Transit, it's just a two-seater. So Jesus said we need to get a seat in, so we installed this stowaway passenger seat. So Lama Eric's going to just show how it works. So if you could bring it down, Lama Eric, and we'll just see. So if you have one extra passenger or even two.
This is a safety lock.
Yep.
And just the one handle then. This one. Push. Brings it down.
Great. So you got a safety, then another latch.
It clicks in.
Great, perfect.
And then bring the seat back up.
Great, let's bring it up. And a catch on the back, bring the seat up. So this is an automotive seat. And let's just demonstrate. Looks good, has a seat belt. Really neat, because a lot of times, certainly with the Feeding the Needy program, there's 3 people required. You know, it's very busy, and sometimes even 4, and that could hold 2, couldn't it, Eric, if needed?
Should be.
Yeah. So perfect. Great, thanks so much. Even got a nice seat belt there. Okay, so very cool passenger seat, and then Jesus designed it so there's a fridge and freezer in the van, and that could be storing food or certainly water. In the summer we hand out a lot of water and they love it cold. So that's an RV high efficiency fridge and freezer, and you can see right on the floor there to the left, that is the big EcoFlow battery that basically powers the fridge and freezer while you're on the road. So plenty of juice to keep that going, I think. And the battery is going to power a couple other things if needed, isn't it? We've got some interior light sockets there if you have a fan or you want to plug your phone in, so you know, extra ceiling lights. And there's even a air conditioning unit on the ceiling there, which will run if it gets hot, or you could just turn the fan on for a bit of extra airflow. And that's all powered by this big EcoFlow battery. So really nice. Okay, so here we're at the rear again, and Jesus put in these really cool pre-assembled shelving units, and they're both sides super sturdy. And then he had us put in a table here, and so if you could show us, Eric, how that table works, because it stows away nicely when you're on the road, and then we've got straps on it, right?
Yeah, the Velcro so it doesn't rattle.
Yeah.
Because it's been taken out on the road, and
yeah, all the vibration and everything.
So take the Velcro. Brand new Velcro.
Yep. So pop the Velcro off.
Latches,
And it just latches. Perfect, and a nice height, size, and plenty of room on the table there for whatever you might need. And I think Jesus is thinking of having an induction cooker available to heat things up, so that would just go on the surface. And that, obviously it's a high draw item, so that wouldn't be usually connected to the battery, but this fan has what's called the Pro Power on board, and it's right here. This is inverter with a 2.4 kilowatt maximum output, so that's plenty to power really high level tools, and in our case the induction cooker. And as we showed you earlier, you just power it on from the front, and then it has that, see that green button there, Eric, and then just to engage it, you press it, it will click, and then it will have all the power you want. And we didn't turn it on just now, but basically you have a 68 kilowatt main battery under the floor of this van, so you could run an induction cooker for hours and it would be just a very small percentage of the available power. So that looks good. So let's stow that table down, and they can see how easy it is to stow away. So you just got to release the latches underneath. That's it, pop it down, and then Velcro it up, because it would, if you didn't use that Velcro strap, it would just start making noises, wouldn't it, you know, as you're driving along. So it's not taking any weight or anything, it's just holding it a bit firm, so no strange noises. And then Jesus installed this storage, it's like a canvas storage cabinet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Up the top there, so that could be super handy. That's just attached to heavy duty brackets. It opens up, and so you could store whatever you needed. It could be bottles of water, clothing items to hand out, and if for some reason you didn't want to use it on a particular day, you just pop it off there at the top. Super simple.
It has a long shoulder straps, so you could take the whole thing with you to market and use it and shop with it, and then put everything you bought up all at once.
Yeah, I mean, we do once a week or twice a week, we do stop at the food pantry, you know, and pick up items, so it could all be loaded in there. Great idea. Yeah, basically we have identical setup on the right hand side here, but obviously without a table. So we've got the same shelving, right, Eric, same unit, and then another canvas cabinet at the top.
The front 3 lights, the puck lights, were on the last switch, and then there's a switch here for a touch switch for the back 3 lights.
Great. So
And it actually is
nice
on
switch.
a dimmer if
Yeah.
you wanted.
Very cool. And it looks like another outlet there, doesn't it, with USB sockets. So if you need to charge your phone up from the back or put a light or a fan in, it does get very hot in Omaha in the summer, so that would be nice. And we'll send off a few fans when the van gets picked up. And I think this is a good vantage point just to show that air conditioning unit again, Eric, there. And we've tested it, and again, it's a very high efficient air conditioning, just in case you need to cool off a little bit in the summer. We're not thinking they're going to need it too much, because the van itself has very strong air conditioning, and obviously the doors are all open when you're outside, but it's there. Nice unit. And you basically just switch it on. It has a remote too, doesn't it? I think so. We've got the remote for it.
You have the remote.
Yeah. So that's when you can just pop the fan on. Yeah. So just from the rear of the van, yep, you can just see there's a rear camera there. So when you're in reverse, that pops up on the screen. Super handy. And we'll just show you the flooring, because this is like industrial waterproof rubberized. It's actually nice and soft, isn't it, to work on? And
Very comfortable.
and Omaha program, they're serving coffee, a lot of coffee. They love it there, and sometimes you spill the coffee, obviously, or whatever. And so this means it's all going to be easy to maintain and kind of bulletproof, really. Look at the rubber lip on the end there, really nice. So it's perfect. And even the height of the van here, you know, if you've watched the program videos, you know, the volunteers or the Sangha members who's doing the program that day are really standing mostly at the back, and that's where they're serving the sandwiches and the coffee from. So this is a great height. It's so easy.
And we can do this thing.
You know, and even if they wanted to use the induction cooker from the back, it's just an easy plug-in. So it's going to be really fantastic for the food program. And then we have the side doors too, so if someone is interested in picking up some clothing or anything, they can just come around the side and you can take care of the needs from there. So it's super convenient. And so thank you so much, Jesus, for designing this. I think it's just going to be a jaw-dropping situation for people as we draw up in Omaha with an electric vehicle. It's just going to be amazing. Okay, we just wanted to show you also the lighting system of the van, and the reason is the van has its own system of lights that are great. You have, as you can see here, you have 2 lights for the front seats, and also there's 2 lights in the back here, if you can turn those on, Eric. Okay. There you go, very bright lights, and I think ordinarily it might be all you need, because they're very bright lights. And let's just have a quick look how that works, Eric.
So this button up here is the regular van lights. Yeah. Push it once and they go on. Yeah. And push it again, off. And they go off.
Great. Okay.
The other thing is that when you open any of the doors, it turns on those lights, and they're on a timer to stay on.
Just as a normal car.
Yeah. If I open this door now, you see the lights are on and back.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Great.
All right. And if you open, then it takes a timer where it will go off by itself.
Perfect. So in other words, that would all be in the owner's manual, but these are just regular van lights like a normal car or van. And so you just want to know what buttons you've just got the 2 buttons there, and you just want to check that you're clear, and so the lights all come off when you're done. Okay, so we just went over the van lights that come with the van, you know, like any other van, and also we've installed a second set of lights that you can, you know, turn on if you really want it bright, that's powered from the battery that we put in. So you see there, Eric, if you could just see there's one set, and you just press the blue button, and you see how these extra lights come on.
There's 3. that one and this one.
Yeah, great. Okay, I see it. So
you can dim these lights.
and you can dim them too.
Yeah, so
Yep. Great. So there's that, and there's another place to turn on some more lights, isn't there?
all right, you want to follow me in the back? So the switch looks different, but it does the same thing. It says dimmer. This one. So
Yeah.
when I touch that, then 3 backlights
Great.
up there go on. Turn them off.
Fantastic.
All right.
So basically, just to sum up, you have the van lights that are obviously very good, and then you have options for additional lights if for some reason it's really dark and you just want it super bright. And we've shown you the 2 places to turn those lights on, and those 2 places are powered by this battery, and we're going to go over that next. Okay, Amrik, so we'll just run through the fridge and freezer, and this is an RV fridge freezer, so very low power draw and efficient that Jesus bought, and it's got this safety latch on the front.
So I can't open this unless the latch is pushed to there.
That's right, so you want to have that latch engaged while you're driving at all times, just so the doors don't suddenly get open on you. But look at the size of that. It's like a household fridge, isn't it?
Very much.
Yeah, and even the freezer, that could be in a house. Fantastic. And
Right,
like we
so-
mentioned before, this is all powered by the EcoFlow battery, and you remember that there was the port that Jesus put in outside the van that keeps this thing charged. So this is what charges up the battery, is the external port. Just plug that in, and
We need to show the controls.
that's fine. Yeah, we can show controls. I mean, this is a regular fridge. It has an on-off button in there, and when we
Cooler.
transport it, we'll just keep it off. So that's regular there. And the battery itself is actually not that difficult to understand, because you just press this button here, power button,
Yeah, the orange
and
one.
if you just, and that powers on, and you basically can keep that on all the time, and it tells you the percentage, 97%, and there's no really a reason to turn this battery off. It's a 24/7 thing. So that's pretty much all we need to explain on the battery. And then Jesus had us put in a very useful meter that's basically duplicates the battery display, but you can keep that on all the time too, so you can see at a glance where you're at, and you see there's the percentage of the battery,
97.
and this is the input and output, so you know what's running on it. But this is just handy to have, because you'll see, and if it starts running a little low, think, oh, make sure you plug in the battery charging from the outside. Okay,
In the back.
in the back, yeah, that's right. Alrighty, that should do us, yeah. Great. And so, just to clarify, this meter, this can stand all the time, isn't that true, Eric? And really, the only things we've got to remember is that these 2 lights, they can stay on all the time. Is that right? We've got an AC
right.
and a DC.
If you happen to turn it off, I hold this button, it'll say, I'm holding the button. Then it says off. If you would look at the machine says exactly the same thing, off.
Yeah, off. So basically, you've shut the battery down.
Shut everything down.
That means the fridge freezer isn't gonna.
The
be
fridge is
running.
now off.
Exactly. You can turn the lights on. So
So
pretty much
you-
they can just keep that battery on all the time.
All right. So, then, but when you turn it back on,
Yep.
it'll show the percentage again, same as
Yes.
it will show down there.
Yeah.
But then you have to actually turn on these 2. The supply of AC and DC. These 2 lights need to be on.
Yes,
So
I
it's
see.
3 pushes.
So that's
to
a
get it
good
back
tip
on.
to remember. Is it's a little confusing because you've got AC, DC, but it's like 2 separate circuits for the battery, and one powers the fridge freezer and the other powers the lighting. But you know, the main thing is to remember is these 2 little lights, the white ones, they should be on, because if you suddenly realize, oh, something's not working, it might be
It's
because
probably
one
because-
of those isn't on. Simple as that. It's not
Yeah.
because there's a big problem.
So I cannot turn on the lights now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you do. It's just one of those things that's good to know, you know.
All right.
All right, thanks, Eric.